Kroger Delivery makes it easy to do your holiday shopping in a jingle. There might be a lot on your to-do list, but thanks to Kroger Delivery, you can get everything you need delivered straight to your door at the same great prices you'd find in store. Our refrigerated trucks always ensure that your groceries arrive fresh. And right now, you can save $20 on your first order of $75 or more and get free delivery with a Boost membership. Restrictions apply. See site for details. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Holiday magic is in the air, and DSW's got all the shoes to make your season extra merry. Believe, you've got parties to attend and lists to check twice, so DSW is taking care of the details, like gifts to make their eyes all aglow, styles that bring joy to your world, brands everyone wants, like UGG, Nike, Birkenstock, and more, and deals to make your budget bright. Find the perfect shoes for you and yours at a DSW store near you or dsw.com.
Hockey fans, are you ready to brave the wild with me, your host, Paladino Joey, or Joey Awajan? Brave the Wild is available on all of your favorite podcasting apps and also, of course, a part of the Hockey Podcast Network, THPN. Absolute great pleasure to be on that network. Dylan and Kyle, thank you so much for having me on board, coming in out of Vancouver, British Columbia, all kinds of other hockey, like you want to keep up with maybe another team. Obviously, you have the New Jersey Devils podcast. It's absolutely spectacular. Highly recommended, and they're back to playing well again. So nice guys out there as well. Really appreciate that one. That's kind of like one to single out at the moment here. But it's a great pleasure to be back on the road with you once again here today on Brave the Wild. It's snowing outside. It's snowing Thursday, which I'm totally fine with. We just might get a white Christmas, where last year we had a dark mist. And I remember comparing the Minnesota Wild season last year pretty much to a dark mist. Just boring, frustrating, nothing to look forward to. It's 50 degrees, though. It's 50 degrees, yeah, with the dark mist. What are you going to do in a dark mist? Let's see, you can't ice skate, you can't go sledding, you can't go on the bike, you can't really go for a walk unless you're really like, unless you have to walk your dog. I'm sure you just love doing that. Or you're a smoker or whatever, you have to go outside and be in that nastiness. I'll take this. I'll take this any day. The ice rinks are frozen over there in Hampshire Park, Golden Valley, Minnesota. Shoveling a little bit, but it's a light snow. That's what's also a huge benefit right now. When you have temperatures in that mid to upper teens, the snow's light. So what are you complaining about? Oh, I don't like snow. If it's light, well, it's not that hard to deal with. If it's wet and all that mess, yeah, and dangerously slippery, gotcha. Anyhow, the Minnesota Wild have been dangerously slippery as well. They've been slipping. Oh, they've been slipping. And they've been getting hurt and more hurt. Well, a 1-3 4-game stretch here, the worst of the season so far, in my humble opinion. Well, that really sucks, as Wally Shaver said last year. I think it was against Michigan State. A very late goal by, I believe it was Michigan State at like the last second, and they pulled ahead and won the game with like 2 seconds left. It was really lame. Yeah, Michigan State and the Gophers. I don't want to talk about it. Just be quiet. Quiet. Okay, yeah, that stuck too. Maybe we'll talk about that later. Damn it, number 1 team in the nation against the number 2 team in the nation. Of course, the other one. Yeah, of course, the other team was victorious in that series. Of course they were. I hate Minnesota sports sometimes. Skull Vikings, though. Purple Mafia podcast, check that out. And the Timberwolves are actually starting to win. We'll see how they do against Karl Anthony Towns tonight for the first time. That's also on Game Time. Some pretty damn good deals. So we'll talk about Game Time in a little bit. But yeah, the Game Time app, it's not too late if you're listening before the game anyway. 7-1 versus Edmonton loss. Yeah, I don't even want to talk about it. 4-1 win over Philadelphia. Okay, that was fun. 3-2 loss to Vegas. Okay, good competitive game. I guess Vegas is better. Yeah, fine, they're better right now. Yeah, they're better, damn it. They've actually won the cup. I mean, look who we're playing against this week, too. That's one thing you got to put into perspective. And Philadelphia gave us a hell of a time earlier in the season, let's not forget. So a 4-1 win versus Philadelphia is okay. That's great. I love it. Edmonton, I'm picking to win the cup, and they're just starting to... Those wheels are starting to turn over there in Edmonton. Kind of like last year, it started terribly. Like, oh my God, they're awful, and they fired the coach. And then things gradually started moving in a different direction. They lost the Stanley Cup final by a goal. Don't forget. Vegas Golden Knights won the cup 2 years ago, and they look like they're right back in contention for the Stanley Cup again. After last year, they basically took the year off. It was pathetic. It was. The Florida Panthers, let's see, what did they do last year? Well, yeah, they did win. They almost blew it, but they did win the cup. And the Wild started off great against them. We swept them last year. Swept Florida last year. But then reality came back where Florida used to smoke us all the time. Remember that? Remember when it was like, okay, we're playing the best team in the league, Tampa Bay Lightning, and this non-playoff team, but that has a lot of talent, but I don't know, they give up too many goals or whatever. And then they'd be like 5-1. Well, that kind of came back again. It was 6-1. It's even better. Even better, as Frank Abagnale would say. Yeah, wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Florida and Edmonton final score 13-2. All right. Yeah, well, other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how was the play? It sucked. The play sucked. Just turn it off. Okay, we can't turn it off. Let's go home. Oh, wait, but he can't go home. Okay, I know. Too soon? No, it's let's move on. Well, 4 games to review, as much as I don't want to. 3 games to preview. Utah, and another back-to-back. How quaint. And guess who's the second team in the back-to-back? Guess who it is? Just take one freaking guess. Winnipeg. Yeah. Anyhow, 23rd. Merry Christmas, Minnesota Wild fans. I'm sure we'll be wearing green one way or another, whichever green people will be talking about. I'm going to talk a little bit about green a little bit and the Wild's sweaters and all that a little bit today. A little bit of conversation about that if I don't stop babbling. Chicago Blackhawks, Christmas colors in play one way or another. Red versus green, green versus red, red and green, and all that cute stuff. Some gold mixed in, hopefully, one way or another, because I love gold with the red and green when it comes to Christmas time. I mean, there's some gold ornaments on this tree. I like the yellow lights, not the stupid ones that are kind of white yellow that are everywhere nowadays. I don't like those at all. I like the Chardonnay whites from that kind of have that late 80s, early 90s look that you still see sometimes. Gorgeous. And I like colors more than white, but that white does work for me. Brings me back in time. Anyhow, yeah, I don't want to talk about these games. Can you tell? I'm just delaying the inevitable. I'm like the angry video game nerd right before he's going to play Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. 7-1. Really? It's just like the Dallas Stars back in the, every time we play them, actually. Excuse me. I don't know. Well, Freddie Gaudreau scored. Brock Faber and Marcus Johansson. The game review's over. It's over. I'm not going to really... It's an unreviewable game. The Wild got absolutely smoked, stomped. And you know what? I'm not really reviewing... I'm trying to get off the actual game review stuff and talk more about just topical conversation. Yet, still at the same time, you bring up the game. You kind of talk about it a bit, in a sense, and maybe look at some of the numbers and such. It's kind of weird to think Ryan Nugent-Hopkins only has 5 goals. He's definitely having a down year this year. But, of course, on the power play, surprise, surprise. And the Sturley one, Leon Draisaitl, that's what he's been called a bit. Yeah, but, well, this one had a bad omen, immediately, as if this Evan Bouchard guy, who was a factor a bit in the game, played a huge part with a slap shot that went off of, if you've been living in a cave, Jake Middleton's hand, either a broken finger or a broken bone in the hand, like the hand part or the fingers. But most likely it's a broken bone, one way or another. Jake Middleton joins the fray. So the Minnesota Wild are becoming the Detroit Lions of hockey. That's kind of how I'm looking at it. How many damn injuries do there have to be? Are we the Detroit Lions, the best record in the league, and here we go, and then, oh, he's hurt. Okay, well, next man up. Okay, here we go, and now he's hurt. Okay, well, next man up. And now that guy, oh, now he's hurt too. Oh, well, next man up. We got this. Yeah, well, eventually it just we don't got this, I guess, because we're playing legitimate teams. Edmonton is a legitimate team again, and we got beat 7-1. And no Jake Middleton. That is the most frustrating, nasty thing that could happen, pretty much, to a team that's had enough injuries, like the Detroit Lions, good luck to them. I think the Vikings have a real shot at winning the NFC North and possibly the NFC regular season anyway to clinch home field advantage for the first time since the fated 98 season. We'll move on from that right now. But the Wild do feel like the Detroit Lions of hockey at the moment. Luckily, there aren't any season-ending injuries where Detroit's filled with them. Here I go back at football again, filled with injuries, starting with Aiden Hutchinson, Montgomery, the running back, and others, and, MCL-type injuries, which are like a month, So annoying. The Wild have had some crazy ones. Obviously, the most crazy of all was the ruptured. It's a real thing. It's a ruptured testicle. And I made a mistake. We'll say I looked up what that looks like. And, there's a, what do they call that? A protection on that first? Hey, this is not something you really want to look at, but okay, if you really want to, click on this. Oh, it's really disgusting. It's nasty. I mean, it's freaking nasty. So we'll move on from that too, but definite feel for Zuccarello. Thankfully, he would return, but not on the night versus the Edmonton Oilers last Thursday, which was, I can't believe that's already been a week since that disaster of a game. Disaster in so many ways. Again, mailed in with a broken bone, a month or more or something like that. Broken bones on your hand or whatever. You need those hands to hold on to the stick, to either defend or to handle the puck or blah, 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 obviously. So any type of upper body hand type injury is really crappy one way or another. Anyhow, the Wild did play the Philadelphia Flyers. 5th place in the Metropolitan Division. The Wild kind of dancing around first and second with Winnipeg, but I think Winnipeg is going to overtake us for the time being. At the very least, the Wild only managed 21 shots on goal, but scored 3 of them, and then the empty netter. Marc-Andre Fleury had a really nice game, arguably his best, second best, third best game of the year. Facing only 22 shots, though.
Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. Shopify is there to help you grow. Shopify helps you sell everywhere, from their all-in-one e-commerce platform to their in-person POS system. Shopify's got you covered. Shopify helps you turn browsers into buyers with the internet's best converting checkout, 36% better on average compared to other leading commerce platforms, and sell more with less effort thanks to Shopify Magic, your AI-powered all-star. What I love about Shopify is how no matter how big you want to grow, Shopify gives you everything you need to take control and take your business to the next level. Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S., and Shopify is the global force behind Allbirds, Rothy's, and Brooklinen, and millions of other entrepreneurs of every size across 175 countries. Plus, Shopify's award-winning help is there to support your success every step of the way. Because businesses that grow with Shopify. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Westwood1, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Westwood1 now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/Westwood1.
Holiday magic is in the air, and DSW's got all the shoes to make your season extra merry. Believe, you've got parties to attend and lists to check twice, so DSW is taking care of the details, like gifts to make their eyes all aglow, styles that bring joy to your world, brands everyone wants, like UGG, Nike, Birkenstock, and more, and deals to make your budget bright. Find the perfect shoes for you and yours at a DSW store near you or dsw.com.
The most wonderful time of the year. Although, let's be honest, around the holidays, things really add up. But here's the good news. Only at Verizon, you can get a single line for $50 per month when you switch and bring your phone. So, while ice skating for 2 is definitely costing more, here at Verizon, you can save. Gifts for your third cousins? Steep. A single line with Verizon? Not so steep. A real tree? Pricey. A single line with Verizon? Less pricey. Flights to see Mima and Pops? Those are up. A $50 per month single line? That's down. Even a trip to the Atlanta Holiday Market will cost you more. But with Verizon, you can switch and bring your phone for just $50 per month for a single line on unlimited welcome, with autopay plus taxes and fees. All this to say, during the holiday season, when everything is costing more, you can get more for less right now at a local Verizon store. $15 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G, 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply.
Just a nice day and just a great vibe because despite losing Jake Middleton, you did get Jonas Brodin back. The ever-injured Jonas Brodin, that I always say always gets hurt in November. Well, November's long over now, and Jonas Brodin returns, so that was wonderful. He got an assist, but instead of Faber and Middleton, it's Faber and Brodeen. Otherwise, yep, Spurgeon, Chrism, Bogosian, and Merrill. So Merrill coming in, not the Travis Dermott guy that we had just acquired. We'll talk about him a tiny bit. Because I didn't even talk about him yet. Travis Dermott, yeah. So he's an interesting addition. For the most part, claiming him off waivers of all teams, the Edmonton Oilers. How funny is that? After the of all teams, the Edmonton Oilers, after the injury took place versus the Edmonton Oilers, the injury to a guy by the name of Jake Middleton. Now, Dermott had a ton of NHL experience. 27 years of age, he's still pretty young. 34th overall pick, so just out of the first round in 2015. Very familiar draft around these parts. Eriksson Ek and Kirill Kaprizov, to name two at least. Travis Dermott, a left shot defenseman, which is pretty much what Jake Middleton is. Well, of course, Toronto Maple Leafs. That's where he was originally drafted by. Second round, 34th overall. Got to the NHL by 17-18. That was, an interesting year. I believe Boudreau, right? Yeah, definitely Boudreau. That was when things started to go very south, unfortunately, when Mr. Chuck Fletcher was fired. But we got to move on. Sorry. I just get in these rabbit holes. 13 assists in only 37 games that year. That was great. A career high the next year in 64 games. Dermott with 17 points, 4 goals, 13 assists. The next year, 11 points, 56 games. And after that, the double-digit category kind of fades away. It's like Dermott started to kind of drop off a bit. Maybe other players kind of overtook him at that third pair role. 43 games, 17 games. He also saw some injuries, but I think most of it was getting healthy scratched and such, but possibly injuries as well. Only 17 games in 21-22 with 2 points. 11 games, 1 goal, the Vancouver Canucks. So he played, in 2 seasons he played 28 games and only 3 points with the Canucks. He's had some decent numbers in terms of plus minus for the most part throughout his career. Arizona Coyotes, their final season in Arizona last year, that's where Dermott was. 50 games, 2 goals, 5 assists. He was a minus 14, unfortunately. And then this year in 10 games with the Oilers, just a minus 3 and a single penalty, and that's it. So far, 1 game with the Wild, and that was with against the Philadelphia Flyers. So far, Travis Dermott was with Minnesota for the... am I getting him mixed up with a different game? No, he played against the Golden Knights, not the Flyers. He was skating in that game. I still remember that so well, but no, he didn't play. He was out there on the ice, though, but, before the game. But ultimately was, the popcorn maker, that type of deal. Toronto Marlies did win the championship there. That is the Calder Cup. Not the Calder Trophy, but the Calder Cup, if I'm saying it correctly. Toronto Marlies won it all. And Dermott with 18 points in 28 games that year. He had 4 total points in 14 playoff games. Not too bad. And helped them win the title for the AHL. That's the only title Toronto's gotten since the 1960s. The last year of the original 6, the Toronto Maple Leafs are the final team to win a Stanley Cup in the original 6 era, and they haven't won a single one since. You believe that? Not one. So that's kind of sad when you think about that, but if you thought that was sad, okay, sorry. We'll get off of that right now. Win by the Minnesota Wild. So we looked at Dermott for a minute. I babbled enough. 2 goals for Kirill Kaprizov. I think I called that. I'm 99% sure I did. Yes, I tweeted it out. And, yep, Derek liked that one. Thank you very much. We'll talk to him in a minute. In a few minutes. It's going to be a little bit. But this was a nice, solid victory. Not a great game, but a win. And solid. 4-1. You can't complain about that. Especially when Philadelphia, what did they get, 7 goals last time we played them? So Flyers are kind of all over the place. I also think they have one of the better, upper echelon logos, NHL, or logos, jerseys, and color schemes in the NHL. I like how the Flyers look. I like their look. And I've kind of had a soft spot for that franchise for a long time, partially because, those Stanley Cup finals they've lost. That's got to suck. It's got to suck. And I know nobody feels sorry for them. I do a little bit. Their fans are probably mean as hell to deal with. Imagine that. No. Vegas Golden Knights, the Wild had a back-to-back. And imagine that the Wild did not win in the back-to-back. So early in the season, all that magic when we'd win back-to-backs and everything was great. I don't know. It's almost exactly the same time. Was it late in the second week, I believe, in 2011, everything just went down that bleeper. But, of course, the Wild only had like 2 or 3 good players on that team. And those 2 or 3 players were out, and you had Warren Peters was one of your main centers. So that was different that year when everything went from the best record in the league to basically nothing. It was a sugar high. It was Mike Yo's first year, and everything was great. But in a way, you don't want to believe this year's a sugar high because Hines has been here for a while. Already it's a calendar year, so it's not like he got here 5 minutes ago or anything. It's not like his second month of the team. It's 12th month with the team. Trennan scratched. I think it's kind of injury related. Reese Johnson, Philip Gustafson had an upper body injury. Jesper Wallstedt called up to be the goalie for the Minnesota Wild. And he was okay. I thought he represented. Gave up 3 goals in the game. Nothing too great, nothing too bad. Some of them felt soft, but still, whatever. Kaprizov with 2 goals again. Absolutely great. But the good vibes coming into the Philadelphia game that I forgot to even say, other than Brodin coming back, also Zuccarello returning, which was very nice. And, that was definitely a huge help along the way, getting Zuccarello back, Brodin. Yeah, you felt better. You just wish the other guy would return as well, Joel Eriksson, but unfortunately he has not so far to date. And of course Gustafson with upper body injury, so that's also a bit depressing. Boldy's been frustrating a little bit. The second line's not been producing, so frustrating there. A back and forth game, but the Wild ultimately do not win. Vegas emerges victorious, and good for them. Victor Olofsson with multiple goals in this one. Again, the former Nashville Predator. Kaprizov and Olofsson each had multiple goals in the game, so good for them. Jack Eichel, Mark Stone assisting on the Theodore goal, which was the only other one, which put the Vegas Golden Knights up 2-1. Midway through the game, you could say, a little bit before the midpoint of the game. And, then the Florida game. Yeah, another one. Yeah. Hello, class. Welcome to Depression Zone. Welcome to the Depression Zone. Marco Rossi would score to make it his 13th goal of the season on the power play. Just earlier, a goal was disallowed. A tip by Kirill Kaprizov, which I believe was whistled for being too high, I guess it was too high. Florida also would have a goal disallowed a little later, but Florida won the game pretty handily. A 6-1 victory by the Florida Panthers. Marc-Andre Fleury gave up a bunch of soft goals in this one. He was not the problem. I mean, obviously, a little better defense would help. Was it Ben Jones? Had the puck by himself, fell. He fell by the boards. He's a human being. I get it. People are going to not be perfect all the time. But holy cow, Ben Jones, that was pathetic. He just fell. Was it Ekblad took over, zinged it forward, and the next thing you know, it was one of the softer goals you saw this season. One of the softer ones given up by Marc-Andre Fleury. I'm sure he would have liked to have that one back. It was pretty soft. I'm sorry. I was not happy about that at all. That was Tkachuk, who, he had a good game. Obviously, multiple goals in the game. That was on the power play. I'm not sure what Ben Jones is doing, but think about it. You're even shorthanded. He just falls. Oh, pathetic. I don't think he's gonna play in the next game because that was embarrassing. I wouldn't want to be Ben Jones in that moment. That would be so embarrassing. Oh my God. Oh boy, that was bad. Ekblad though, Ekblad. I just called him bad. Well, it was bad overall. The fall and then the fairly soft goal. I thought, like the Chuck. That's usually the puck that just kind of bounces off the goalie. Usually, that's what that is. And then maybe you get a rebound. Maybe the Chuck gets it back somehow and scores. Yay! But no, it just went right in. And it was when it was 4-1, and it's like, oh, just, if you're not doing a podcast, then, or whatever, you just turn the game off, that kind of thing. Or if you're not like this, oh my God, I watch every second of every game, no matter what, because I'm, the king of watching games. I'm so loyal, gosh, we're down 8-1, but I'm going to watch every second of the game. Yeah, it's wonderful. Good for you. Yeah, 6-1. Oh, sorry, I'm making noise here, but this is depressing. It's one of the softest freaking games I ever saw in my life. But, well, too many injuries. We're like the Detroit Lions of hockey right now. Damn it. And reality feels like it's catching up in a lot of ways. So another thing that's been kind of going around lately, which I get it to a point, but I don't get it, The fan vibe for the North Star colors is changing. It feels like it's kind of fading away a little bit. Like the other day, what was it leading into the Vegas game? There was they put up the regular Wild logo with the Christmas colors, right? Because, there's two different versions now. There's the Christmas color one, and then there's the North Star color Wild logo, the Wild crest. When it's like, okay, see, it's the Minnesota Wild's Facebook account with the blue check mark, whatever, and it had the Christmas color. Like, that's what we're wearing tonight. We're going to have the Christmas colors. And the heavy majority of the responses were positive, like, yes, about time, and stuff like that. It was kind of like, good, this is what it should be. And I was like, really, though? I mean, I like the Christmas colors just fine, but you're sick of the North Star colors now already? Or you always were, or whatever? I don't agree with you. I like the Christmas colors, though. I'm not a Christmas color hater at all. Not at all. I still remember people even kind of actually whining about that back in the late 90s before the team even played a game. Or not whining, but kind of making fun of it. Like, that looks like Christmas. Yeah, but that's okay. Christmas is good, right? Christmas is good. I don't necessarily want to look like what the Seattle Supersonics looked like around the mid-90s. I like the green and gold Supersonics much more, which, again, I guess I have that same vibe right now with the Minnesota NHL team, you could say, if it's the Wild or the North Stars. And I'm going to keep saying about the whole North Stars, probably there were possibilities of they didn't have to leave at all. If a stupid guy was a tiny bit more patient, they didn't have to leave at all, and Dallas would have had their franchise anyway in a couple of years, just like Minnesota got our franchise back. But that particular expansion team could have went to Dallas, and the North Stars could have stayed. So that's always going to kind of haunt me a little bit. As much as it shouldn't. But that's just kind of how I look at things, I guess. Again, I mean, I'm not going to stay up all night thinking about it, but at the same time, when I'm doing this show and I'm watching a game and I'm seeing the Wild and the North Star colors, of course I'm going to have that vibe. And the curiosity of how the North Star, the Stars logo would have evolved over the course of time. See, what I think what would have happened, I'm going to get into this now a tiny bit, and just a teeny tiny bit, since we're talking about the colors and the stars and everything, and the Wild, the North Stars. I think what would have happened is it would have been similar to, like, say, the Buffalo Sabres, how they had that rebrand, right, with the black and red and all that, and they had that mean-looking buffalo instead of the classic-looking buffalo with the Sabres, the two Sabres, the classic Sabres, which I like better. Just like I like the N Star much better than the black jersey with the stars, the stars, the look, which didn't have to be the North Stars leaving. It could have just been a rebrand that didn't last forever. And I think that's exactly what would have happened. It wouldn't have lasted forever, but it would have been brought back on occasion, just like how Buffalo's bringing back on occasion. Like, teams wear those previous looks sometimes for retro night or whatever. And then you wear the super retros like the Wild are wearing right now, which looks like, like the late 70s into the early half of the 80s, that look. I'm curious, though, also, because, like, I'm sure the North Stars would have gone back to the N again, like if they never left. I'm curious how things would have evolved over the years, how the uniforms would have evolved into, like, the 2000s and 2010 and 2015 and 2024 or whatever, what the North Stars would look like today. It's curious, isn't it? I'm sure you keep the N for the most part, how it looks, but how would the uniforms have evolved over the years? It's an interesting thought. Like, what would we kind of like be what Calgary's been doing, classic look, which I highly prefer. Would we look like the Wild look like right now when they're wearing like with the Wild war against Florida last night? Would the North Stars have that look? Would they have gone back to it? Be pretty cool, wouldn't it? Be kind of cool. Imagine, imagine that just like a N, like the N Star instead. But maybe a couple different, like a different patch or something. I don't know. Sorry, I just got curious. I just get curious, and my imagination likes to wander about stuff like that. Because I was like, why not? I don't know. Just hypothetical thinking, I suppose. But I think that's what would have happened, is my guess, like another hypothetical thing. It would have been a rebrand, like this D-Star look would have never existed, which is totally fine with me. I hate it. It's terrible. Other people like it, though, but I don't. It would have been interesting, and you would have had the star, you would have worn it sometimes, and all that. So, okay, I've gone over that enough. The Mike Modano Award winner for this week is Kirill Kaprizov with a bullet. The James Shepard Memorial is Ben Johns. Just that play alone, it was awful. Like, what are you doing, Ben? What are you doing, guy? Like Phil Mackey might say. I think he was imitating his dad when he said that, so shout out to Phil Mackey's dad, who's no longer with us, unfortunately. Ben Jones, he just fell. Like, what is that crap? And obviously, unfortunately, you don't want to pick on guys that are kind of stuck in the quad A or triple A zone, triple A players. You don't want to pick on them, but that still sucked. It was bad. It just felt like low IQ hockey too. Like, why are you bringing it up so far? I don't know, in a power play situation. I mean, I like that you're going for it, so to speak, but to just up and fall, yeesh, like that was bad. So maybe I'm being too hard on him, but I don't know. He's going to have to bring home the James Shepard Memorial, because I do think he'll be making popcorn against the Utah Hockey Club. Great name, not. We'll talk about the Utah Hockey Club next, and you'll also hear from DraftKings and all of that. And we are back here on Brave the Wild, segment number 2. Let's get moving for the sake of time and for all of that. But also, we are now going to hear from DraftKings. Watching our favorite NBA players is the gift that keeps on giving. And playing Pick 6 from DraftKings, an official partner of the NBA, is a way to take a shot at even more cash prizes. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app and select 2 or more players and choose if they'll have more or less of a stat. Pick 6 is available in most states, including California, Texas, Georgia, Missouri, and more. And speaking of gifts, new Pick 6 customers play $5 and get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now and use code THPN. That's code THPN for new customers to play $5 and get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Happy holidays and Merry Christmas from DraftKings Pick 6. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 plus. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Pick 6 not available everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. One play per customer. Bonus award is not withdrawable. Pick 6 credits that expire in 30 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos. And we always thank DraftKings so very much here on the Hockey Podcast Network. Thank you, and thank you some more. So, up and coming hockey games, Utah. Not the Jazz, but the whatever they're called. They're called a hockey club. The Utah Yeti, the Utah Venom, the Utah Mountains, the Utah whatever they are. Well, they won't be the Rockies, I don't think. Colorado Avalanche, you already know it, dang it. That one guy. Karel Vizmelka, Connor Ingram, former Phoenix Coyotes, of course, Arizona Coyotes, pardon me. Vizmelka has been fantastic. 16 games, 2.37 goals against average. That's absolutely great. Connor Ingram, mediocre to below average, yet he's 6-4 on the season because they've been giving him goal support. Just do simple math there. 87% save percentage. 3.61 goals against. Jeez, what's that? But Vizmelka, 2.37. That's outstanding. 91.5. That shows less, unfortunately, in terms of the goal support. Dylan Guenther's leading the club in scoring, tied with Clayton Keller, 14 goals, 16 assists. That's the goals is the highest on the team. Clayton Keller with 11 goals, that's second with 19 assists and 30 total points. Guenther is a plus 12, Keller is a minus 3. Logan Cooley, which I didn't even talk about last show. I don't think I did. Maybe I did. I don't remember. Logan Cooley, 7 goals, 21 assists, and I still am bitter about not scoring the goal to put the Gophers up 3-1 in the national championship game. That would have iced it. That would have wrapped it up, But no, you had to hit the damn post, didn't you, Logan? You just had to hit the post. You son of a... And then you left. You son of a... He's a plus 13 for the Utah Hockey Club. 28 total points. Good for him. He's lost more faceoffs than he's won because he hit the post in the national championship game, and I'm blaming it all on that. I am. Damn it. Bukestad, Bugle, Mr. Gopher as well. 4 goals, 4 assists, 8 total points in 23 games. Ian Cole, former Minnesota Wild player with 8 total points, 1 goal, 7 assists. Unfortunately, off-ice issues have not made him look so great, unfortunately, but I liked him as a player with the Wild. I know. Jack McBain, 9 goals on the year. That is third on the team. Jack McBain. Wow, 13 points total with only 4 assists because it's all about him, bastard. But, yes, it is. Damn it, because the way he left, that was annoying. But I suppose I wouldn't want to be stuck behind a bunch of people either. Yeah, let's get off of that, too. Just 3 in a row for the Utah Hockey Club. They're 4-1 in their last 5. Good for them. The comparisons a bit here. Okay, let's look at some injuries as well. Brock Faber. Oh, don't go there, please. God, no, please don't go there. Upper body possibly with Faber, but no real information. Maybe he's okay. Oh, no. Philip Gustafson did not play in his upper body. Yakov Trenin did not play in the 18th versus the Panthers. Yeah, he doesn't play anyway. Anyhow, Robert Bortuzzo, Hockey Club, did not travel with the team and is out indefinitely. Maverick, that's an interesting name. Lamoureux, I believe I'm saying that correctly, placed on injured reserve back at the end of November. Connor Ingram is out indefinitely. Salt Lake City Tribune. Yep, out indefinitely. All right, well, he hasn't played well either, unfortunately, poor guy. 18 goals, in goals, the Utah Hockey Club is 18th. The Wild are 13th. Goals against Utah is 11th. The Wild are 4th. Surprised that hasn't gone up about 5 more spots after this week. Ugh. You can tell I'm real excited about it. Power play, Utah's 15th. Minnesota's 19th. Penalty kill, Utah's 20th. The Wild are now 30th. Right back, same old crap. Penalty minutes, Utah's 31st. The Wild are now 12th. That's growing rapidly. Weren't we like 4th or something, or 3rd just recently? So that sucks. That sucks. But yeah, Utah's 31st, so they're the second worst team in all of hockey in terms of penalty minutes. This is a 4-game series because they are a division rival, if you can believe it. The Wild did win in a shootout on December the 10th very recently. Now Friday, December the 20th, that's tomorrow. January 23rd, we'll probably have a little more sunlight by then. That's a Thursday. And then we'll have a lot more sunlight by Thursday, the 27th. Boy, do we like playing on Thursdays. So we'll be previewing those games first on those upcoming shows, just like today. Okay, well, the Wild are not, what are we, 2-3 in our last 5? Yay. Yeah, well, I think the Wild will temporarily right the ship at the very least, though Utah's been playing very well. They're now 15-11-5, but I do think the Wild get a calm, collected 3-2 win over the Utah Hockey Club tonight. Minnesota Wild kind of keep them in check, so I'd like to believe. I think Mr. Jesper Wallstedt gets a win. Jesper Wallstedt gets the win versus the Utah Hockey Club. I would love to see Jesper out there. Fleury should not be in that tonight. Just get Wallstedt in there. Please get Wallstedt in there. 3-2 win. Wallstedt keeps them to 2 goals. Maybe 4-2 because of empty net, but we'll just say 3-2. Most likely guy to score in the game is Boldy. He gets his head out of somewhere because he's been frustrating of late, unfortunately. We'll continue. Frustrated and frustrating. Winnipeg Jets. Winnipeg Jets. Don't put Jesper Wallstedt against the Winnipeg Jets, okay? Just don't. And I'm sorry, Fleury, but, kind of is what it is. They have a Gustafson at center there, placed on injured reserve. Wednesday the 18th. Dylan Samberg, injured reserve. November 24th. Yeah, I could say till the cows come home. Let's just keep going. What did I do that for? Oh, no, that's correct. Man, they're tough. Whew. Number 1 in goals. Number 1 in goals. Number 1. Yep. Goals against 8th. This is all Winnipeg. They're number one in the league in assists. It's a stat I don't get into much, but they're number one in goals and assists. Holy crap. You don't really think of Winnipeg as this offensive juggernaut, but, well, they've been great. Like that 2-1 game. It was an overtime loss way back on Sunday, October the 13th, when you could practically still swim outside. It was, so different to what it is now. 2-1 overtime loss. So the Wild actually got a point in that one. But I remember that was a frustrating deal, a penalty at the last second, and then Winnipeg scored on the power play because the Winnipeg player, I forgot who it was, would have scored standing up, had Mr. Bogo not intervened. But he did, thankfully. So Bogovan, but of course, Bogosian, sorry, but Edmonton or Winnipeg would score right away. They might as well be Edmonton. 4-1 win recently, and I think the Winnipeg Jets sweep the Minnesota Wild. The Wild will only acquire 1 point out of the possible 6. I'm glad this is only a 3-game series. I'm thrilled because we can't play these guys for some reason, and they are good. An 8-1 win over the Boston Bruins on December the 10th. That's pretty notable. 3-2 recently. They lost to Anaheim and Vegas. Okay, Pacific Division teams. So funny stuff happens in those games. Winnipeg also has the best power play in the league. Number 1 in goals, number 1 in assists, number 1 power play. Like, what more do you need to know? Penalty kills at 19th. That's not that good. Penalty, minutes, they're 26th. They still got a ton of penalties. Even their shooting percentage is 3rd in the league. Well, translation, Winnipeg Jets are good. 23-10-1, and they're not going to win the Stanley Cup, but, well, maybe they will this time. I don't know. I'm not cheering for them, that's for sure. Connor Hellebuck is hella good. Yeah, I know. Cute little pun there. 20 wins, 5 losses, 2.15 goals against average. 9.26 is the save percentage with 3 shutouts on the year. Kyle Connor, 19 goals, 23 assists, 42 points. Mark Scheifele, 18 goals, 20 assists, 38 points. Josh Morrissey with 27 assists. Jeez. 13 of them are on the power play, 3 goals on the year. Gabriel Velarde, 14 goals, 14 assists. Neil Pionk, interesting. We have a prospect for that name. A similar last name anyway. 24 points in 34 games. Cole Perfetti, 6 goals, 14 assists, 20 points anyway. Nino Niederreiter with 18 points. 10 of them are goals on the season in all 34 games. One of the things with the Winnipeg Jets, why they're doing so well, is they're staying healthy. And I'll do this out of respect. I don't want them to win, but I don't want them to get hurt either. So, yes, the Wild do not win this game. No, the Wild did not win this game. We'll be semi-gentle here. Okay, 4-3 loss to the Winnipeg Jets. 4-3 loss. Maybe the Wild will squeeze out a point in this one, but it will not be a victory. Most likely guy to score in this game is Marco Rossi. He continues to play well, but the Wild did not beat the Jets. I do see it as a regulation loss, unfortunately. Hoping for that point at the very least, but I see a regulation loss, and the Wild, unfortunately, do not sweep this week, but the Wild get back to 2-1. Respectable. Hopefully we'll be seeing Jules Eriksson return sometime this week because he is skating. That's encouraging. It doesn't guarantee anything, but he's skating, so that's something. That's progress of some kind. It could mean anything, I guess, in the hockey world. He's skating. He's back tomorrow. Nope, he's not back for 3 weeks. He's back in 3 months. I don't know, but it's not going to be that long. I would hope that the Wild do not win this hockey game. So with that, we're going to hear from Game Time. Don't you just love the sounds of hockey? The banging into the boards, the tapping of the sticks, the oohs and ahs of the crowd, the cheers, the roars, and the horn, and even some boos as well. That's part of it. With the Game Time app, you can absolutely do that, getting to your favorite Minnesota Wild game up and coming. All kinds of options coming up. Possibly you have the Utah Hockey Club, well, as soon as tonight, but maybe I'm a little late on that one. But that's how it goes. A great upcoming game I would recommend, personally, January the 7th, the St. Louis Blues come to town. You might not think, oh, the Blues. Yeah, but still, you get to see Ryan Suter again, maybe boo him a little bit, and the reasonable pricing is incredible. What I love is the different possible deals. You can get the super deal, a lower deck seat, and in the Xcel Energy Center, the sightlines are so good anyway, no matter where you sit. But with the Game Time app, you can go all over the place with all the different prices. They're all right in front of you right now. You don't have to, how much is it if I press this? How much is it if I press that? It's already there. Isn't that great? Super deal, $79 right now. in the lower deck, section 110, row 11. The amazing deal, which I always cherish, $43. $43. Again, it's upper deck, which is totally fine. Row 3, section 222, but you're going to see everything. And I mean everything from that vantage point. An amazing deal, and that's actually my overall favorite, usually when I were to buy tickets. And this app obviously gives you so much value. There's multiple amazing deals. $45 for a professional hockey game in this day and age is a pretty damn good deal. You can even get, there's Gopher basketball tickets coming up during the Christmas week. As cheap as $3, which is pretty crazy. But otherwise, $27, $14 upcoming. Timberwolves games are always inexpensive. And of course, you're going to get the whole map, which is absolutely fantastic. I mean, imagine getting to see the Boston Celtics on the 2nd of January. Boston Celtics, $25? That's pretty wild. Pun not intended. Super deal up to $196, but the amazing deal, $24? Absolutely wild. Absolutely awesome. Obviously, you got the game time picks. Curation makes it easier to save more on sports, concerts, comedy, theater. So yes, you can get concerts on all the different possible sports. So like once your location is set, everything is there. And I mean everything. All the different possible teams, concerts, and all that up and coming. It's absolutely spectacular. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time Picks. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code THPN for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code THPN for $20 off your first purchase. So imagine, again, like $42 to go see the St. Louis Blues. It's $22. It's awesome. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time. All right, so now we're going to jump into the prospects, if humanly possible. I already talked about Travis Dermott. He is not a prospect, so, but good for him if he was. Let's go with this guy. Yeah, this guy. Carson Lambos, Iowa Wild. So, yeah, he's got 4 points recently. Damon Hunt obviously is gone. I'm going to check on him real quick for fun. Cleveland Monsters so far. 4 assists. Good job in 6 games with the Cleveland Monsters, the affiliate for the Columbus Blue Jackets. He had 4 assists in 9 games with the Iowa Wild and 1 game of nothing, unfortunately, with Minnesota this year. Damon Hunt. So I'm going to always be curious and check up on him. David Juracek is up with Minnesota apparently for some reason, but he's not. I don't know what the point is. Just leave him in Iowa. Okay, I understand if you're going to play him, play him. Otherwise, put him in Iowa. It's adorable having him up here, I guess, and you can watch the games and stuff. Yay. But one guy is massively emerging in Iowa, and his name is Liam Ogren. That's right. That's right. Multiple goal games, multiple goal games. multi-goal games, if you can say that 3 times. I don't know. 10 goals to lead the club now. Good for him. 14 points at 14 games. He's a point-a-game player in the AHL. So that is a nice step forward for Liam Ogren. Nice step forward. And he got a few assists this week. It's about time. Good. Yeah, because he had like 1 assist, didn't he, for like forever? And I was like, okay, can we balance things out a little bit? Keep scoring. Now, you don't have to stop scoring or anything. But balance things out a little bit, and then your numbers are going to be awesome. You won't be like, two-thirds of a point a game. Now you'll be closer to a point a game. You start tacking on the assists. Travis Boyd had 4 assists in the recent game for the Iowa Wild. That was cool. 15 assists for Travis Boyd. Only 3 goals, but 15 assists is impressive for the Hopkins, Minnesota native. And the guy who sported the M years ago now. He's a -3 on the season so far in Iwija. 14 games for Liam Ogren, because he was up with Minnesota for a little bit at times. +2. Stockholm, Sweden, 20 years of age. Nice to see Liam Ogren making legitimate progress down there in the AHL, which hopefully can translate to the National Hockey League pretty soon. Hopefully. Gauntz was up with Minnesota for otherwise 14 points in 21 games. Not bad, but he was a -10. Hunter Haight, 13 points. So it's nice to see some of these prospects getting better. You're seeing Iowa play better lately. You're seeing it. Because some of these prospects are playing significantly better, namely Liam Ogren, Hunter Haight, Mikey Milne, 12 points in 20 games. David Spacek continues to take steps forward, 2 goals, 9 assists. How about that? 11 points for Spacek, about half a point a game. -6, which is a little unfortunate, but it's pretty good, I mean, that's not bad. It's not bad at all. Not bad for Spacek at all. Like, huge step forward. He's the leading scoring defenseman. I think I mentioned that a few times, but yeah, he's legitimately the leading scoring defenseman in the AHL Minnesota Wild affiliate. Joseph, or Joe, he sounds more like a Joe than a Joseph, doesn't he? Joe Saccone. Joe Saccone from Yorktown, New York. It just sounds like Joe Saccone. Joe Saccone with 7 assists, no goals. He doesn't do the goal scoring, but he's a +10. Coming in from New York, Youngstown, New York. 6'3", he could beat the heck out of you, you know. You better watch out. 7 assists. Okay, Graham Clark, who looked positive early, only 6 points at 16 games, unfortunately. Strong start, that's slow recently, unfortunately. Ryan Sandlin from Hermantown. Sounds like Duluth to me. It really does. 3 goals, 2 assists. I can't imagine why. Adam Ross got 40 penalty minutes, and he has been out. Only he has missed some games anyway. 40 penalty minutes. I was joking about him coming up to Minnesota to replace Foligno. Foligno was hurt too. Like, okay.
It's the Monday you've been waiting for. DSW's Cyber Monday sale is happening now at DSW.com. Today only, save 35% on almost everything online. Score the best deals of the year on must-have shoes, giftable bags, and cozy extras for everyone on your list, including you. Don't miss out. Save 35% online only at DSW.com today. Exclusions apply. Details at DSW.com.
Like, it's just, what else has kind of happened? Raska is only 22 years of age, by the way. Ryan O'Rourke, also, that's another guy I wanted to talk about. A couple of assists this week, you know, it's kind of nice. And, you know, like, he is making progress. Like, remember last year, what was he, like, -29, some nonsense? Like, how could you be that bad? I understand the team wasn't that good, but they weren't, like, pitiful, were they? Yeah, they kind of were, but they weren't completely pitiful. Like, they were just not good, right? But now Ryan O'Rourke is even. Ryan O'Rourke is even. So he's definitely taking steps forward. I like this kind of stuff. Like, I keep an eye on, you know, I like this kind of stuff. And again, he's got 4 assists, or 4 points on the season in 20 games. It's nothing to, like, oh, wow, like, write home about. But a couple of assists this week, you know, back-to-back games. And the fact that he's even. He's not -5. He's not -3. He's even. That's awesome. Carson Lambos is a +5. That's cool, too. 1 goal, 3 assists in 22 games for Carson Lambos. So, again, guys taking steps forward. They're not getting their butts handed to them. That's what's important here. That's what's different. Last year, they were getting their ass handed to them, and it was annoying. It's more like it's the veterans that are getting beat, unfortunately, the most. -10 for Gauntz, -11 for Shore. Even Boyd's a -3. So, yeah, Caden Banker's unfortunately a -7, and he does only have 8 points on the season. But he's going to keep getting better, too. He's only 21, so still believe in there. O'Rourke is 22, so there's still a chance for Ryan O'Rourke to possibly be something. It's nice to see. Nice to see. Again, often I look at that Ryan O'Rourke was taken ahead of Brock Faber. Yeah, Ryan O'Rourke was taken ahead of Brock Faber. Yeah, for those of you that haven't heard that one before. Jack Pert, who's been often in, Jack Pert and Hurt have been in the same sentence a bit this year. 11 games, 6 penalty minutes. Interesting, and a -2 and no points so far from Grand Rapids, Minnesota. Wallstedt, yeah, I remember he had that shutout since, he's been up in Minnesota most of the time since then. Dylan Ferguson's been the main goalie, and he's been okay. He's had his ups and he's had his downs. So we'll see how that turns out in Iowa. But Ogren's been fantastic for the most part. Spacek's been very solid. So very happy to see some of these guys moving up a bit. Good for them. Good for them. Continuing. I just love talking about the prospects. Can you tell? And I'm really happy to see Iowa Wild doing something. I really am. Like, how could I not be at the end of the day? Nate Benoit, I never talked about the poor guy. 15 games, 1 assist in the for Quinnipiac. He's playing for Quinnipiac. Interesting. Yep, out of North Dakota last year. Yep, he actually went to North Dakota last year, had 1 assist in 19 games. Now he's with Quinnipiac. 15 games, 1 assist, and he's even. So, well, he's kind of a stay-at-home guy who doesn't do much of anything else. Should I look at Josh Pillar for the heck of it? University of Saskatchewan. 17 points in 16 games. Okay. But no longer with the Wild, of course. Kyle Mostas. Isn't he with Iowa? Oh, no, he's with the Heartlanders. Yeah, he's been with the Iowa Wild and down with the Heartlanders. Only 1 assist in 6 games with the Iowa Heartlanders. Yeah, bummer, man. Hopefully Masters can get things going a bit. But isn't he still... He's 21. Bummer, man. Both Masters and Bankier. 2 guys that emerged nicely 2 summers ago. And since then, I don't know. It's been kind of semi-disappointing, unfortunately. Just being honest with you. Petrovsky, check. 22 games and a -3. Anything else? No. I don't know what's going on there. It's kind of weird. Ryan Healy, it is kind of weird. Ryan Healy, this is kind of weird too. Only 10 games and 3 assists. I know. He's been, he's had his injury issues at times. It's a bummer, man. Reger Lorenz, again, major step back this year. I don't know what the heck is going on. 3 goals, 2 assists, 18 games, 5 points. Ugh, what the heck? He had an awesome step forward last year. Danila Yurov, again, the playing time issue, as they like to screw around with you in Russia. Half a point a game, 7 goals, 7 assists in 28 games for the defending champion Mittelberg. Good for Mittelberg, winning the whole enchilada last year. Where am I? Lost and found. Anyone? Jimmy Clark, national champion, future national champion Gophers, if they don't play Michigan State anyway. 4 goals, 8 assists, 9 assists, 13 points. Not a great weekend for the Gophers last week. No, that was awful. They tied the first game and lost the second. They were up 3-1, and then next thing you know, it was 4-3, and they lost 5-3. Isn't that great? It's just wonderful stuff. Kalem Paka, who won it all with Moose Jaw a couple of years back. Great statistics then. Since then, it's been a little quiet. Well, 1 year, yeah. It was just last summer. What am I talking about? Late spring, whatever. Epic point producer at the WHL level anyway. 42 points for the Moose Jaw Warriors. Calgary Hitman, he's a point-a-game guy. Wow. Since leaving Moose Jaw, he had 12 points in 19 games there. But with Calgary, 9 games, 9 points. 4 goals, 5 assists, and he's a +16 in only 9 games. Wow. Calgary Hitman, future champions maybe of the WHL. We'll see. Good for Kalen Parker, too. Pionk, well, good numbers there. Aaron Pionk, not the other one, and he's also from he's from Hermantown. University of Minnesota Duluth, 12 assists. Not bad last year with 20 points in 37 games, with 12 assists this year. And he goes from a -9 to a -1, so step forward. No goals so far for the 21-year-old, but 12 assists in 15 games is pretty good, no matter who you are. I don't care who you are. Riley Height, 24 games, 14 goals, 25 assists, 39 total points, and he's a +10. Again, it feels like a small step back to me. Again, is it just kind of like, okay, I'd like to move on here. I guess we're having fun, but I'd like to move on. That kind of thing. That's what it feels like. Rasmus Kompalainen for the Pelicans of SM Liga. 3 goals, 8 assists, 11 total points, and he's a -8. Ugh. Not the best. I don't want to talk. Charlie, I don't like you anymore. I don't like you, Charlie. Go away. Get out of here. Yeah, I know. Didn't he put them up 4-3? You son of a biscuit. You suck. Okay. Yeah, okay. I hated you for about 5 seconds. But, damn it. Anyway, well, he's doing really well, and they're number 1, number 2, number 3 in the country. 16 games, 12 points. I'm very happy with Charlie Stramel's progress. I hated that he scored that goal. But good for him, I guess. 5 goals, 7 assists, 12 points. Oh, Charlie. Anyhow, let's give our only 5 games so far. What the heck is up with that guy? Obviously hurt. Obviously, Woodsky's been fantastic. Woodsky from Saskatchewan, whatever. Red Deer Rebels. He had a good week last week, but his overall numbers are still mediocre. 3.19, 12 games, 11 points, and all of that. I think we're getting into the quote-unquote holiday/Christmas break here. Yep, for a lot of these juniors, not minor leagues. SM Liga, Sayoni, 1 goal in 9 games. That's all we have to say there. Ryder Ritchie, who's had some moments, but again, I think these teams are kind of wrapping up here for a little while, just like college 7 goals, 9 assists, 16 points in 19 games, -7. And Richie has missed some time this year. Last and absolutely positively not least, the number one prospect in the system, because, for the most part anyway, not, again, like, kind of like, probably like Riley Height in a way, like, kind of like baby step back in terms of stats. In terms of overall stats, I think he's like a baby step back. That's what it feels like, because I think he's ready to move on soon. But I'm sure he's completely invested in all of that. It's just, he's ready to possibly translate to the pros. Maybe he's working on some things behind the scenes to kind of make him more of a professional rather than just dominate college. 4 goals, 16 assists, still great numbers. I mean, he's over a point a game and he's a defenseman, playing college hockey. So it's pretty good. It's not like, oh God, what's up with Zeke Williams? Jeez. No, he's still kicking massive butt. But like, I'd take him on the Gophers in a second. Like, they'd be the national champion favorites by a mile if they had him. Let me tell you. Like, just imagine just flat out adding him to the team. It'd be hilarious. Yeah, just don't choking in the national championship game again, because that Gopher team should have won. They should have won. Oh God, yes. 4 goals, 16 assists, 20 points, and we'll move on from the prospects into fan interaction next. Thank you so much for listening. And we are back here on Brave the Wild, segment number 3, fan interaction segment. And I always love hearing from each and every one of you, even if it's just a couple of you. But hey, I'll take the couple of you any day over nobody, because anybody commenting to my show, it just feels like $1 million. So at Brave the Wild is your Twitter account for interacting with me on here. I probably could put the bat signal out earlier. I'm not sure, but where are some of you? Dang it. Tom Hayen. I want another Tom Hayen lightning round. Those are fun, but I'll take the Derek Belska lightning round 1,000,000 times. Yeah, I'll take it 1,000,000 times and never be tired of it. I love it so much. Jay Bushy, don't be afraid to do a miniature lightning round yourself sometimes. I'd love that. Even if it's just 2 or 3. But, I mean, 1 is good, too. 1 is 1,000,000 times better than nothing. So, point made. Let's go. Let's keep moving. Oh, yeah. I think Derek corrected me on the one thing with Adam Raska. What was I talking about? Okay, yeah. I'm going to backtrack, yeah, because there's some other stuff, too. So there might be some more interactions here than just the... yeah, that's what I normally do this, where I look back first to the last episode. Yes, Wild claimed Dermott from the Oilers. I simply retweeted that one. The response was... a guy by the name of Derek Belska of the Crease Assist podcast, a absolutely wonderful Minnesota Wild show that I highly recommend. Got Derek, Kalisha, and Teresa do a wonderful job. Occasionally 1 or 2 of them is out. Usually it's just one though. Usually they want to have 2 people. They're not like Joey, who's all about solo. Yep, they're not solo Joey necessarily, because I pretty much have to be solo because my schedule's different than everybody else's, for the most part. Okay, enough about me, damn it. Derek Belska says about the acquisition of Mr. Dermott, a move necessitated by Middleton's injury and the Juracek trade that had us move Damon Hunt. Yeah, it's like, yeah, what else are you going to do, right? Yep. Yeah, it is what it is. We needed a stopgap, and now they have one. Yeah. And I definitely wasn't complaining about the acquisition. I was just like, all right, yep. And it was what it was, that's for sure. I was saying very much so. Thank God we had 3 injured players return today. Pure luck or coincidence? He was saying that was pretty fortuitous. Yep, and I was saying very much so. The Edmonton game felt like the biggest disaster ever. Thankfully, that was just one game. Why am I... I'm blanking on who the third guy was, because I know there was Zuccarello. My brain's just stopping here. Zuccarello, Brodin. Why am I blanking on who the other player was that came back in that game? I don't understand why I'm blanking. It's my... well, it wasn't Chris Simona. Spurgeon wasn't out, was he again? Oh, I don't remember now. Was it Lauko? Maybe Lauko? No, I think I think it might have been Lauco. My brain is just stopping. I don't know what happened. I don't think it was Freddie. Oh, I think Foligno was out. That's who it was. It was Foligno. Okay, Foligno. That's who it was. Yeah, sometimes I take Foligno for granted, and I know that's the worst thing ever. And I'm just a terrible guy. But yeah, Foligno being out isn't necessarily a good thing. Just sometimes you just get annoyed. Like, is this guy gonna? It wasn't Foligno. No, Foligno played versus Edmonton. I think he was out for a little bit, for a minute, and then came back. I can't remember who the third guy was. For the life of me. It's driving me nuts. Oh well, because it wasn't Spurgeon, thankfully. But whenever Spurgeon's out, it's not good. I just can't get it back who it was. I'll just have to move on. Sorry. Completely blanking. Derek will probably let me know in not too long from now, I'm guessing. Continuing. I'm pressing all the wrong buttons here. Ugh. I'm like a bad coach pressing all the wrong buttons. Nailed my prediction. Number 97 would score 2 goals versus Philadelphia. And Derek says, hats off to you. Yep. Yep. Next, here we go. Here's a poll. Pretty cool one. What are your expectations for David Juracek? And I need to get my butt doing polls. I did a Purple Mafia one this week about Darnold versus J.J. McCarthy going forward for the Vikings. But I only left it for one day. That was a mistake. God, it's like I'm on a roll, aren't I? Expectations for David Juracek playing next year. Playing in Minnesota in 2 to 3 years. Playing in Minnesota in 3+ years. Why would it be that long? I don't know why people would pick that one. I have no expectations. Playing in Minnesota next year came in first by a landslide, and I did pick that. 70%. 2 to 3 years, 21.7. I don't think it would take that long. He's 21, 22, isn't he? Isn't he 21? I was also saying, I hate to say it, but Andrew Burnett is pretty much toast. We'll probably hear an announcement within the next week or two. I think he's a much better coach than this, but man, it's hard to see. That would be the Nashville Predators. Yeah, promising start, exactly what Wallstead needed. The early lead versus the Knights. Yep, and Wallstead needed, Derek was saying Wallstead needed a plug to stop the whining about broken promises. Ooh, yep. I was saying Foligno hit in the face of the puck. Who's left? Adam Raska, my goodness. He was saying actually, Derek was saying Raska's actually hurt. Yep. Probably Reese Johnson. Yep, another guy hurt. Lizard to Kaprizov. Right to the antler, says Lizard to the Kaprizov. Are we following each other? Yes. Okay, cool. Good. Well, yep, that's another... Yep, MN Hockey Fan 336. You'll be in the tweet for sure. Thank you for jumping on board. Yeah. Keep commenting if you could. That'd be great. If it's just jumping in a conversation or, jumping in on the what do they call it? The heck do they call it? Bat signal. All right, here we go. Jay Bushy joins in after the bat signal. What can be done with the penalty kill? And yep, that's been an ongoing frustration. I'm not sure anymore. It just needs to be better. I mean, I don't know. I sound like a coach that's like at a wit's end where they're like, I don't know. Hey, Mr. Bill Guerin, what can be done with the penalty kill?
I don't know.
My thoughts exactly. But other than that, I mean, there's personnel changes, changing things up, switching things up, looking for what works. I think for starters, Ben Jones never goes on the penalty kill again. I don't know what that was all about. That was on the penalty kill, right? I mean, yeah, and it was like the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Like, what are you doing? Like, common sense sometimes. Like, that was one of the dumbest, stupidest things. Obviously, Fleury probably should have stopped that puck, too. That was just kind of a combination of weak crap, as far as I'm concerned, at the end of the day. The Derek Felska lightning round has returned. Welcome back to the show. Anyhow, again, hashtag BTWMN is the best way to keep things organized. So when you do hashtag BTWMN, you can keep, I can put it in latest and then have it all in chronological order. That's how I like it. I remember I used to get frustrated like, February, what the heck? Because I didn't know how to get it in order. And then it's like, oh, that's all I had to do. Oops. Well, yeah, that's all I had to do. Next, Derek says the Minnesota Wild have shown an inability to beat the top teams in the Central. What do you think is needed to finally defeat these teams? Dallas, Winnipeg, Colorado. Oh boy, guys having some gamesmanship, showing up to play. I mean, it's gonna take just absolute desire to get the job done, focus, desire, a want to, and it's I know they're competitive players and they want to win and but. And not kind of I don't know, feeling defeated pretty much when you're down 1-0, which seems to happen a lot against these teams. Oh, here we go again. 1-0 Dallas. Frickin' whatever, Robertson scores again for his 95th goal against the Wild. He's like a Ginla. Kills us every time, like a Ginla killed us from Calgary, remember? So that's kind of what it has to be, a combination of just this want to. We gotta... The only way to do it is to bleeping do it, as the Angry Video Game Nerd says when he's playing one of the hardest games of all time. What was it called? Ghosts and Goblins on the NES. Whew, that might be a video game flashback release one of these days. Just you wait. That'll be a tough one. That's an October one coming up one of these years. Yeah, that's... That's kind of what it is. The only way to do it is to bleep and do it. They have to just kind of bear down, not like Chicago, but bear down as much possible, and just a simple desire. We're done with this nonsense. We're one of the best teams in the league. We should be the team they're fearing sometimes too. We fear them. Why can't we get them to fear us? That's what it's kind of turning into in a lot of ways, as far as I'm concerned. Next. Michael Rousseau has noted how there has been a distinct lack of activity in a possible contract extension of Marco Rossi. What more does Rossi need? What more does Rossi need to do to get an extension from the Minnesota Wild, or does Wild GM simply have other plans without number 23 in it? That's disappointing. It's really disappointing. Yeah, I remember Russo saying that a bit. My mind kind of stopped on that one for a minute. But yeah, I don't understand it. I don't, other than keep doing what he's doing, which he's been very good. I mean, he was right there with, he was right behind Kaprizov for the Madonna Award, and he definitely got it last week. I don't understand it. And if the cap is going to go up, you should be able to keep him. Even if you really want to add this guy or that guy potentially. I don't understand that at all. I think Rossi has done everything he really needs to do to warrant at least something of an extension, at bare minimum. People could roll their eyes at this thought, like a Jules Arsenault type of contract. Though I'm guessing he might want more. Is Rossi's camp looking for $8 million a year or something? I mean, I don't know if he's a $7 million guy, but maybe maybe he is. Maybe he is. What more does he need to do? I think he deserves to get an extension. Yes, I guess the whole conversation could be, is his camp being ridiculous? Or is it just all about Kaprizov? Well, it took Edmonton forever to finally become a competitive team after signing Draisaitl and McDavid to the massive contracts. It took forever. So I don't know what to say. The whole Guerin, I don't know that you just saw. So I don't want to believe he has other plans, but it looks like it. Right now, that's kind of that's the indicator at the moment. Other than, is it Rossi's camp being ridiculous? I don't know. Lime and tomato juice, delicious. Anyhow, next. Which Minnesota Wild player reminds you the most of Mario, and which is the most like Luigi? Or is this just a lame question you'd rather not answer? Of course I want to answer it. I love it. Of course I love it. It's not a lame question. I think sometimes when I do video game questions, your co-hosts kind of give me that response that it's a lame question they'd rather not answer. I think your co-hosts are more in that department. Yep, I appreciate you answering them when I message into your show about that. I think your co-hosts are more mean about that than I am. I've never been mean about a video game question. Sometimes I just simply don't have an answer. If you want to ask a detailed question about the Minnesota Frost, it's not because I don't want to. I can't. I can't keep up with all of that. because my schedule's weird, and I'm kind of, and I got all these other podcasts. Okay, get to the point, Joey. I'm starting to sound like a politician. I talk about everything else. You know those drones in New Jersey? Okay, sorry, Mario. Which player reminds me the most of Mario? I think it's Marco Rossi. I think it is. Remember how I called him like the Mario, like the Rossi brothers, and have like mushrooms, like the mushroom graphic as the crest on the jersey. I think that'd be kind of cool. So I think it's Marco. Rossi is Mario. Luigi is Jake Middleton. Luigi's Jake Middleton, don't you think? Don't you think he's Luigi? He's got that big mustache and everything, and he's tall. I'm trying to think of who else could be. The only other guy that kind of has a Mario look is probably John Merrill. Otherwise, to me, Marco Rossi is Mario. Like, he looks like Mario before he had the mushroom, because he's shorter. He's kind of a shorter guy. Yeah, he's like Mario without the mushroom. And then Luigi's like, Super Luigi. It's not a lame question. Why'd you say that? Or are you just teasing me? I've already made my point about your co-host not wanting to answer those usually. Will the Minnesota Gophers make the NCAA Frozen Four this year? In the words of David Kahn, they better. Yeah, they better. I mean, they are a top 4 team in the country. I think they absolutely should. I think they're complete top to bottom. Will Moscow get the job done when they get there? That's the hope. Because, I just hated when they took that small lead against Quinnipiac and they just sat back and let Quinnipiac basically pepper them until eventually they got through. That's why the Gophers lost that championship game to a Quinnipiac team they probably should have beaten. The Gophers should have beaten Quinnipiac. As for winning the whole thing, it's not going to be easy, but I'd like to believe they can. But the NCAA Frozen Four, yes, the Gophers will make the NCAA Frozen Four. And if they don't, it'll be a monumental disappointment. I'm using that word, monumental disappointment, if the Gophers do not win the national championship. Do not make the Frozen Four. It'll be disappointing if they don't win, yes. Here we go. So Morty did chime in. Okay, it's just there's no BTWMN. Thank you, Derek, for that. That was awesome. Thank you. Morty did chime in. Awesome. What's going on? Okay. With Ogren lurking in Iowa, Europe possibly coming by the playoffs, how realistic is it to add a player now or add a trade deadline? Especially considering our cap space and roster availability. I'm not even talking about other possibilities next year, but any move changes things. To me, it looks like the only move that could happen is a Rossi trade. Otherwise, I think standing pat. I suppose there could be something on the defensive side, but you do have but I suppose that again, there's another acquisition coming. Ziabuya. That's a pretty good acquisition on the defensive side. Now, if the son of a guns can stay healthy, all the other guys, hopefully Faber doesn't have something going on now. So otherwise, you have what? Faber, Juracek, Juracek. There's Mario right there. Not weird, wild. Yep, that was Marco Rossi. There's Luigi. Amazing timing. Yep, some stupid. They're making fun of the pranks of Flower, where Marco Rossi'd be drinking water and the top comes off and goes all over him. I love that. That's funny. He kind of looks like a Mario, doesn't he? Mr. Flower kind of looks like Mario, actually, but I'm going to go with Marco. But back to the point. With all those players coming in, I think the only trades I'd want to consider is moving on from some of the veterans. Like, I'd like to see Hartman traded. I'd like to see the Wild trade Hartman, especially like with some of these other guys coming in, coming over, depending on the different situations. Coming up in Ogren's case, in and Zeev Buyam's case, and over in Yurov's case. The one guy that might get traded away to possibly you're going to make a trade deadline acquisition. It could be you're moving on from Marco Rossi, but I don't think you want to do that. If it's me, I'm closer to standing pat right now, possibly, depending on injuries and such, I suppose. But I'm leaning towards standing pat at the moment. I think the Wild have given up enough draft picks. It's more than likely warm bodies that would get moved. And I hope it's not Rosie, honestly. I hope it's not Rossi. So we'll have to wait and see how that turns out. But that's a great question, Morty. Thank you. And thank you, Derek, for hashtagging that one for me. That's a good one. That's a great one. Great one. Yeah. Other possibilities next year. But any move changes things. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like if trading away Rossi would change things. Don't do it. Don't trade Rossi. Don't. I think it's a mistake. That was like the half of last episode there. So with that said, huge shout-outs. Obviously, like I said, Creases' podcast, MNW Young Guns or MNW Prospects, Pavel Burnett, Justin Bakke, amazing guys. I love interacting with you and we talk about the prospects of the week and all that. It's a lot of fun. Minnesota Wild Global, Scott Cavendish, David and Chance Kostick, Kathy Main, David Abraham, Chad Wolski, Michael Fick, other people on that page. Fantastic. Really appreciate hearing from you. Off and on when I'm on there. Obviously, Pavel Burnett and Bakke are on there as well. Fun page. Minnesota Wild Nation, Patrick Turner from Florida. Except for the Panther game, I suppose, but that was a tough one to say the least. Looks like something here, Tyler. Is this to me? It's okay. It's a question to Derek, but that's good. Yep, Derek's put out his bat signal. His show's coming up pretty soon too. It looks like. So yep, we'll get on that. Derek definitely gets his shares of responses, and that's awesome. Yep, I better jump on that myself. Yep. So some of you guys that are listening, that listen to both of our shows, yeah, interact with my show too if you could. Yeah, and Morty, I appreciate that. There and Derek, the hashtag, that was helpful. I appreciate that. Honest to God, that was big. So it's like I might help with, like I kind of helped them a little bit with starting the podcast a little bit. And Derek has been a huge help with the social media deal, bringing people over. And I appreciate you, Derek, really in a big way. Like, he's made a huge help over the years with that. So I don't want that to go unmentioned, no doubt. So I think I've gotten to the shout-outs, and I appreciate every one of you so much. And next week we'll be saying, this is it, isn't it? Next week is the 26th. Oh, depressing. Well, all I have to say about that is Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas, Minnesota Wild fans. Merry Christmas, Minnesota Wild fans. Happy Hanukkah as well. The Steve Briams of the world, happy Hanukkah. Yep, absolutely. And happy Kwanzaa if you celebrate that. Christmas is right around the corner, and God bless all of you. I hope everything is going okay. Be safe. Be safe out there if the weather is affecting you in one way or another, or just travel in general, because travel can be interesting if you're flying or driving or whatever. Just wishing you a very safe and happy Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa. You could say happy holidays, but I like to more mention the holidays themselves. I just think it's better that way, but that's kind of how I look at the world, I suppose. Again, have a wonderful Christmas, everyone. God bless you, and we will talk to you in a week.
Kroger Delivery makes it easy to do your holiday shopping in a jingle. There might be a lot on your to-do list, but thanks to Kroger Delivery, you can get everything you need delivered straight to your door at the same great prices you'd find in store. Our refrigerated trucks always ensure that your groceries arrive fresh. And right now, you can save $20 on your first order of $75 or more and get free delivery with a Boost membership. Restrictions apply. See site for details. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
The most wonderful time of the year. Although, let's be honest, around the holidays, things really add up. But here's the good news. Only at Verizon, you can get a single line for $50 per month when you switch and bring your phone. So while ice skating for two is definitely costing more, here at Verizon, you can save. Gifts for your third cousins? Steep. A single line with Verizon? Not so steep. A real tree? Pricey. A single line with Verizon? Less pricey. Flights to see Mima and Pops? Those are up. A $50 per month single line? That's down. Even a trip to the Atlanta Holiday Market will cost you more. But with Verizon, you can switch and bring your phone for just $50 per month for a single line on unlimited welcome, with autopay plus taxes and fees. All this to say, during the holiday season, when everything is costing more, you can get more for less right now at a local Verizon store. $15 monthly promo credits applied over 36 months with a new line on unlimited welcome. In times of congestion, unlimited 5G, 4G LTE may be temporarily slower than other traffic. Domestic data roaming at 2G speeds. Additional terms apply.
Hey everybody, I'm Trevor Sikkema, host of the PFF NFL show, here to tell you what you can find on all of our shows throughout the week. On Mondays, we have the Grade Release Show, where myself and Dalton Wasserman break down every single game that you just saw in the NFL. On Tuesdays, we have the Quarterback Breakdown with Seth Galina. On Wednesdays, we've got the Rookie Review with John Ledyard and the preview for the upcoming week in the NFL. So make sure you are subscribed to the PFF NFL show wherever you get your podcasts.